are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live for the NXT Recap. Live Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late, guys. I was trying to get settled. NXT was really good tonight. It's always a lot of chaos in NXT. The main event was really good with Lola and Izzy Dame. I'm going to go ahead and post that I'm live. Twitter's going crazy tonight. Go ahead and post that I'm live. Hope you guys had a good Tuesday. Getting back into the groove, being back at work, and the holiday. A lot to unpack tonight, as always on NXT. It's always a lot going on. I'm just posting on live to everybody. It's a good show, though. We are on the road to Clash in Italy tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys lock in. Come join me for the NXT the WWE Clash in Italy prediction show live here on the EVP Show at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'm just posting it on live to everyone. All right, so I'll go ahead and go over the matches that's going to take place next week on NXT. I'm taking it's going to be the main event. We're going to have Tony D'Angelo defending that men's NXT championship against the newly. He hasn't been on NXT very long, but making him and Mason Rourke have made quite the impact on the NXT roster. Tony D will be defending next week against Maxine Dupree's husband, Cam Hendricks. Also, we're going to have Lizzie Rain going one-on-one with Zarya, as Zarya looks to make her way towards that women's NXT North American Championship. And the men's NXT North American Champion, Miles Bourne, and Tavion Heights will team up as they were attacked tonight against Dark State. Tate Wilder will go one-on-one with one-third of Vanity Project's Jackson Drake, and Romeo Moreno, who got the shocking victory tonight in the Speed semifinals, will go one-on-one with Lexis King for the Speed Championship next week. So let's go ahead and get started on the NXT recap. Quite a big night tonight for NXT. So tonight's WWE NXT Live, May 26, 2026, from the Capitol Wrestling Center, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. You're going to see the WWE NXT Women's Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, Lola Vice, defend her WWE Women's NXT Women's Championship against the Cullens, Izzy Dame, plus the Cullens, Sean Spears, and Nico Vance. Was supposed to face OTM, Bronco Neiman, Lucian Price in a tag team match, but that didn't take place. Also going to see the WWE Men's Speed Tournament first round, Super Strong Legacy, on one-on-one with Dorian Van Doo. And then we're going to see Praxium, Nathan Frazier, and another Speed, which turned out to be the semifinal. Praxium, Nathan Frazier going one-on-one with Romeo Moreno. We're going to see one-on-one Jada Parker versus Layla Diggs, who's making her debut on the NXT program. And we're going to see Birthrights, Charlie Dempsey, go one-on-one with WWE LFG Season 2 winner Charlotte Hill in a non-title match, and the ones that opened up the show. Tonight we're going to see one half of Ren QCC, Ren Sinclair, the WWE Women's Speed Champion, in a non-title match against Kalani Jordan. So the show opens up with Vic Joseph and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T on at the announce table welcome us as we see the arrivals of Ball of Ice, the Cullen, and Dark State. And as I said, kicking off the NXT program tonight is the women's NXT Speed Champion, one half of Ren QCC with Kendall Gray. It is Ren St. Clair. She makes her way down to the ring for the first match of the night, and she is accompanied by the other half of Ren QCC, Kendall Gray. Ren St. Clair will be going one-on-one with Kalani Jordan, who's coming off a big victory over Kendall Gray. This is a non-title match, but she will be facing WWE Women's Speed Champion Ren St. Clair, and Ren St. Clair's knee was taped up, so she's just coming off of an injury. So let's get to the action. The match starts off with Kalani wasting no time attacking Ren St. Clair. She attacked her before the bell rang, or as soon as the bell rang. She got her into the corner, and she was nailing her with rights. Sinclair fights back with a series of arm drags, and she follows it up with a drop kick, sending Kalani Jordan to the outside. Ren Sinclair then hits a snap suplex. Then Ren Sinclair runs into a big boot from Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan then pounds away at Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair then fights back, but Kalani Jordan hits her in the midsection. Ren Sinclair then applies an armbar. Kalani Jordan then hits a super kick. Kalani Jordan sends Ren Sinclair's head into the lower turnbuckle. The fight then spills to the outside, and Ren Sinclair hits a drop kick. Ren then hits a back body drop to Kalani Jordan on the floor, and Sinclair is still favoring that left knee that's all taped up. Ren Sinclair then applies a abdominal stretch in the center of the ring, but Kalani Jordan fights out of it, and she targets Ren Sinclair's injured left knee again. Kalani continues to work on Ren's injured left knee, and Sinclair is screaming in pain. Kalani then runs into an elbow from Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair then tries to fight back, but Kalani Jordan takes her out with a springboard clothesline, and she follows it up with a snap suplex. Ren Sinclair fights back with a series of rights, but Kalani Jordan puts her down to the mat again. Ren Sinclair then gets back up, hits her with another back body drop, and hits a series of chops to Kalani. Ren Sinclair then hits Kalani with a gut wrench suplex. Kalani then goes for a split-legged moonsault, but off the top rope. But Ren Sinclair moves out of the way. Kalani Jordan then applies a crossface on Ren Sinclair. And the first time she locked it in, the crossface, Ren Sinclair was pretty close to the ropes, and Kendall Gray was telling her, she was cheering her on, telling her to try to get to the ropes. Ren Sinclair Kalani Jordan then drug her from the outside from the inside of the turnbuckles right close to the ropes to the middle of the ring and applied the crossface on Kalani Jordan again. And the women's NXT Speed Champion Ren Sinclair is forced to tap out because of all the pain. So Kalani Jordan defeated the women's NXT Speed Champion Ren Sinclair by a tap-out submission hold, the crossface. So Kalani Jordan has defeated Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair in 2 of the last 3 weeks on NXT television. So Kalani's on quite the roll. Brutal submission seals the win for Kalani Jordan. So we go to the backstage area, and we see the WWE Women's North American Champion Tatum Paxley and Lizzie Rain in the back. And Tatum apologizes to Lizzie about what Zarya did after the match. She told her she was just a casualty in the story because Zarya came out wanting to attack Tatum Paxley, but she ended up attacking Tatum Paxley and Lizzie Rain. So she was kind of an innocent bystander out there. Lizzie says she is not going to be collateral damage she is not going to be collateral damage for Zarya. She is upset about the whole Zarya situation. Shiloh Hill comes up with this funny little hat, and he talks about his Mr. NXT campaign. He's obviously got a bunch of signatures on that piece of paper. Tristan Angel shows up. Obviously, they are going to be going. I think they're having a match next week. I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I don't have the whole list, but Tristan Angel shows up and he wonders why Lizzie is involved in this. He then runs through the petition names, and Tristan talks about the process of the pageant. There's going to be a pageant in 2 weeks with him and Charlotte Hill, which I don't know anything about that. He then says that he hopes that Birthright's Charlie Dempsey stretches some sense into Charlotte Hill later on tonight. Lizzie Rain says she is going to come after Zarya, and she has some scheming to do, and Charlotte Hill asks if he can come along for the scheming. Tatum Paxley tells Charlotte Hill is good at the scheming part. Let's see. Just 1 second, guys. My phone messed up. I apologize. Trying to get back to where I was. All right. So, sorry guys, trying to get back to the Tristan Angels tells Charlotte Hill that he hopes that Charlie Dempsey from the Birthright stretches some sense in him. Lizzie Rain shows up, Lizzie Rain says she's going to come after Zarya and she has some scheming to do. Charlotte Hill then asks to join her. So Dark State is out to the ring, and obviously we saw that Osiris Griffin, Cutler James, and the leader of Dark State, they turned on the other member of Dark State last week. So they have some explaining to do after they laid waste to Saquon Sugars last week. Osiris Griffin gets on the microphone and starts off by saying, when Dark State strikes, nobody is safe. Deion Lennox talks about Saquon Sugars, calling him an indie talent. Deion Lennox is now the leader, or has been the leader, but of Dark State, but so they kicked out Saquon Sugars, which we didn't see him tonight. But Deion Lennox talks about Saquon Sugars, calling him an indie talent. He then says there's a reason he was the last member of Dark State. Cutler James and says Saquon Sugars made it easier for them last week. He then says Dark State gave Saquon Sugars so many chances to get back, but he became a liability to them. Dark State is not apologizing for the brutal attack on Saquon Sugars last week. Cutler James then says last week was the last straw. Deion Lennox says Saquon Sugars tried to act like he was better than him in the group. Deion Lennox goes on to talk about John Cena picked him in the Iron Survivor Challenge. Then he says he didn't ask for it but earned it. Deion Lennox then says there's no Dark State without him, and he wasn't going to let Saquon Sugars tear it down. Deion Lennox then puts the entire locker room on notice. Deion Lennox then makes it clear that nobody is safe now, and he walks off with the rest of Dark State. So they're coming after everything that they have lost. And they ended up showing that later on in the night because they attacked Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights in the back. So we then see Ren Sinclair after her hard-fought match against Kalani Jordan and Kendall Gray in the trainer's room. Ren Sinclair is telling the doctor that she doesn't want to get an MRI. Kendall Gray told her that she needs to do what's best for her leg. Lola Vice, the women's NXT champion, walks up and tells Ren that everything will be okay. And then we see Too Cool, Callie Armstrong, shows up and says Kendall isn't that confident now. That's what she saw her in WWE Evolve. Lola then asks Kelly what is she looking at. Kelly then says, when you get in the ring with a difference maker, you will see. Lola bites and tells Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair that Kelly Armstrong is on the list of the people who needs to be knocked out. Lola Bites and Kelly Armstrong. Kelly Armstrong has put her Lola Bites on notice that she will be watching the main event tonight. So we go to the next matchup of the night. It will be for the in the speed tournament. Super Sean Legacy makes his way down to the ring for the next match of the night, as he will be going one-on-one with Dorian Van Doo. So it's a 3-minute time limit in these matches, so you gotta get that finished pretty quick. So Super Sean Legacy going one-on-one with his good friend Dorian Van Doo, which we have seen Dorian on, or he's supposed to be on LFG this season. So, but the match on top with Dorian applying a side headlock, but Sean Legacy hits a drop kick. Sean Legacy then goes for a suicide dive, but Dorian Van Doo catches him in midair and sends him into the ring post. Dorian Van Doo then hits a leg drop. Sean Legacy then goes for a 450 splash, but misses. Dorian Van Doo then hits a clothesline for a count of 2. You only have 3 minutes in this contest to get a win. Sean Legacy then hits Van Doo with the DDT and follows it up with the 619. He then runs into a boot. Sean Legacy then hits a Hurricane Rana. Sean Legacy then goes for a 450 splash, but Dorian Van Doo gets his knees up. Sean Legacy then hits Dorian Van Doo with the drop kick, and both men are down. Is anyone going to get the pinfall here? Both men then exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Dorian Van Doo then hits a kick. Both men are up on the top rope, but the clock struck 0 as the 3-minute time limit expired. So these guys definitely went hard. The match was really good, but in these speed matches, you only have 3 minutes. So the clock struck 0 in this tournament. So both men have been eliminated in the tournament. Ends up a draw via speed rules, but Sean Legacy and Dorian Van Doo have been eliminated from the Speed Championship tournament. So the WWE Men's Speed Tournament first round match ends in a time limit draw. So we go to the women's locker room in the back, and we see the Layla Diggs, who will be making her NXT debut tonight. But then the low-key legend herself, Natty, comes up to thank Layla Diggs for standing up to Jada Parker about Natty last week. Natty then says, someone knows how to treat a legend. Natty then says she wants to be in Layla's corner tonight. And Layla says she's cool with it. Obviously, she said she was going to defend Natty because she is a low-key legend. It's like Natty and Layla Diggs have a plan in place for tonight. And then, so we go to the next matchup of the night, as Jada Parker will be going one-on-one with Layla Diggs, who will be accompanied by the low-key legend herself, which we talked about that on Scoops a couple of weeks ago, that Natty was going to be working a program with Jada Parker. She requested it. So Jada Parker makes her way down to the ring for the next match of the night. She will be going one-on-one with Layla Diggs, who will be making her debut on NXT television. And she will be accompanied by the low-key legend herself, Natty. So we go on to the action. The match on top with both women locking up. Jada Parker then applies a side headlock. She pounds away at Layla Diggs. Jada Parker then hits a shoulder block. She follows it up with a clothesline. Layla then drops her shoulder into the midsection of Jada Parker. She follows it up with a side kick. Layla Diggs then hits a leg drop or a near fall. Both women then trade strikes. Jada Parker then hits a series of chops, and she follows it up with a couple of clotheslines. Jada Parker then slams Layla Diggs onto the mat. Layla then heads to the top rope, and she goes for a moonsault. Her version of the prettiest moonsault ever, which she definitely had some airtime, but Jada Parker moves out of the way when Layla Diggs goes for the moonsault, and then Jada Parker hits a hypnotic, and she follows it up with a sit-down power bomb for the 1, 2, 3. So Jada Parker made very short work of the new up-and-comer on women's NXT television, Layla Diggs, and she was staring Natty down the entire time. So We are definitely working towards that Jada Parker and Natty match coming up soon. The winner of the singles match is Jada Parker. After the match, Natty stares down Jada Parker. Jada Parker then leaves the ring and stares down Natty as she goes to the back. So we're definitely working towards that Jada Parker Natty match soon. So then we go backstage with Blake Howard. He is with Lexus King and the rest of Birthright, and they talk about the speed tournament. Lexus says there are going to be casualties when you try to deal with him. Lexus says Charlie Dempsey is going to make a casualty later on tonight against the Season 2 LFG winner, Shiloh Hill. Nathan Frazier and Axiom then show up, which is crazy that they're on NXT, to doubt Lexus's claim of being the fastest person in NXT. Nathan Frazier then said Romeo Moreno has as much of a chance to win as Spain does of winning the World Cup. So I guess the money would be on Spain to win the World Cup, because Romeo Moreno found a way to get that win tonight. Axiom then tells him that that isn't the best thing to say. Nathan Frazier says he doesn't think England will win either. So a little funny backstage segment, but I can't believe they're actually on NXT television. Then we go to the next segment of the night, where the WWE NXT Men's World Heavyweight Champion Tony D'Angelo makes his way down to the ring. D'Angelo starts off by saying we have an influx of new, young, and hungry faces here at NXT, and it has definitely spiced things up. Tony D then says he will face Cam Hendricks one-on-one next week for the NXT Men's Championship. That is official. In the main event, Tony D'Angelo will be defending against Cam Hendricks next week. Tony D'Angelo then says he promises not to lose his NXT Championship next week. Tony D then calls out Naraku, otherwise known as Evil. And Naraku makes his legendary entrance down to the ring. Congratulations to him and Io Scott on getting married. Tony D'Angelo says he knows Naraku wants to talk in riddles and hidden messages, but he is more of a straight shooter. Tony D then says Naraku has been stalking him and asked him if he wants a shot at the NXT Championship. Naraku gets on the mic and then says he is here to keep Tony D'Angelo and his NXT Championship safe. Don't know what that means. Tony D'Angelo then says he ain't buying it. Tony D then tells him, he says he promises to take care of Naraku after handling Cam Hendricks next week, and Cam Hendricks' music hits. And Cam Hendricks makes his way out to the ring. So he vows to become the new NXT Men's Champion. Cam Hendricks calls himself the fastest rising star in recent memory. Cam then says he promises to destroy the pit. He said last week he got the pin on two of the pillars of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, and the men's NXT North American champion, Miles Bourne. He says next week he's going to destroy the pillar of NXT. Tony D'Angelo then says he gets that Cam Hendricks is competent, then says you aren't the first to come out here and say they deserve to be on top. Tony D then says you see this title as a status symbol where you can parade around on the red carpet. Tony D then says he sacrificed 5 years to get to the top. Tony D is a Grand Slam winner in NXT. Tony D then says he dealt with failure, and now he has to face a man who hasn't earned a damn thing in NXT. Tony D then says you won a match. Tony D then says to take this strap from him, you will have to rip his heart out. Tony D then says that ain't going to happen. Tony D then walks away, and Naraku and Cam Hendricks have word. Cam Hendricks goes for the punch. Naraku blocks the punch from Hendricks, and he punches Cam and clotheslines him over the top rope. Naraku then bows to Tony D'Angelo and leaves the ring. I don't know what that's all about, but Naraku has Tony's back. So maybe he's not coming for the NXT Championship right now. So we go to the back. Like I said, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff going on tonight. We see Tavion Heights and the men's NXT North American champion, Miles Bourne. We see Tavion, and he tells Miles Bourne he didn't cost him the match. Miles then says he knows that Tavion wants to make a statement, but he can make both of them crash and burn. Tavion then says Miles should be happy that Cam chose Tony and not him for the championship match. Said that has nothing to do with it. And then Dark State comes in. As I said earlier, they're trying to wreak havoc on the NXT roster now. Dark State attacks Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights, throwing them both up against the garage. Brutal attack by Dark State on Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne. So, yeah, a lot going on in that segment right there. So we then see the Vanity Project walking in the back. Jackson Drake praises their victory. They then talk about Dark State breaking up. Tate Wilder is in the back, and the Vanity Project asks how long will Tate be out. Tate then says he will not be out long. Jackson then says Tate has a lot to learn. Tate then asks Jackson to step in the ring with him next week, so it is official next week. Tate Wilder will go one-on-one with Jackson Drake. Jackson then says Tate doesn't want this after what Keanu did to him last week when Keanu Carter buddied Tate Wilder up in their match last week. Tate then says he lives for this. Obviously, all the Vanity Project was back there as well. So we go to the next matchup of the night. It will be Nathan Frazier and Axiom make their way down to the ring, where he will be going one-on-one versus Romeo Moreno in the speed tournament, with the winner of this match going on to face Lexus King next week for the men's NXT Speed Championship. Romeo Moreno is accompanied to the ring by Noam Dar. So we got Praxium Nathan Frazier going one-on-one with Romeo Moreno. The match starts off with Nathan Frazier applying a side headlock, and he follows it up with a drop kick. Nathan Frazier then flies over the top rope, taking out Romeo Moreno. Back in the ring, he runs into a boot. Romeo then hits a missile drop kick for only a 2 count. Nathan Frazier then hits a Spanish fly and goes for the pin and only gets 2. Nathan Frazier then hits Romeo Moreno with a kick. Nathan Frazier then heads to the top rope, but Romeo Moreno hits a German suplex on him, and both men are down. It's a 3-minute time limit. Both men then trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Romeo then launches himself outside the ring, taking out Nathan Frazier. Back in the ring, Nathan Frazier hits a superplex, but Romeo Moreno gets the roll-up, and the referee counts 1, 2, and then he stopped for a minute there, like at least 20, 30 seconds, and then he counted for the 3 count. So Romeo Moreno picks a huge win up over Nathan Frazier and has advanced to the finals of the Speed Championship tournament. So Romeo Moreno will go to the finals. After the match, Nathan Frazier lifts Moreno's arm as a show of respect, and we get a stare down. So we go to the back, and we see Izzy Dame, who will be challenging Lola Vice in the main event tonight, along with Nico Vance from the Cullen. She talks about potentially becoming the new NXT Women's Champion tonight. She then asks about where the other member of the Cullen is, which is Sean Spears. Nico Vance then hopes that he's getting ready, but they don't know where he's at. We then see the NXT General Manager Robert Stone and Mason Rook backstage, which I said Mason Rook has made a big statement on the NXT roster. Robert Stone says he is glad what Mason Rook did to Cam Hendricks last week. Robert Stone then says Cam Hendricks defeated Miles Bourne, which is why he's getting a title shot. Robert Stone then assures Mason Rook that he will still be in title contention. Naraku then walks up to him and tells him to stay out of Tony D'Angelo's match next week. So Mason Rook is hungry for a title opportunity. So we were going to the next match of the night, which is going to be Sean Spears and Nico Vance going up from the Cullen, going up against OTM in a tag match. But Sean Spears runs out and attacks Bronco Nima and Lucien Price with a chair. And Nico Vance comes out and starts yelling at Sean Spears for attacking them. Sean Spears come out and brutalized OTM. So that match is called off. They won't be fighting tonight. So we go backstage and we see Sarah Strawber, and she stops Kelly Armstrong to ask her about her recent actions and what title she plans to go after. Kelly says she will run through the locker room and she needs to pick her spots. Kelly then says she might go after both titles, the Women's NXT Championship and the Women's North American Championship. Tia Hale walks up and she says it would be great to go after both titles, but that is a dream. Kelly then says it is a dream for Thea, but not for her. Charlotte Hill then stops to ask Zarya if she will sign his petition in the back, another backstage segment. Zarya then tells Charlotte to get one of his crazy friends. Charlotte then tells Zarya that she needs to worry about his crazy friend, Lizzie Rain. Lizzie Rain is behind Zarya the whole time. Charlotte Hill repeats herself to Zarya and says, you need to worry about Lizzie Rain. When Zarya turns around, Lizzie Rain fires up and hits Zarya with a right hand. Attacks Zarya and they fight in the back. And the officials have to come in to separate both of the ladies. And they are screaming at each other. Tonight has been total chaos on the NXT program. Zarya and Lizzie Rain just got into it backstage. Big melee between Zarya and Lizzie Rain, and they will go one-on-one next week on NXT, Lizzie Rain and Zarya. So Charlie Dempsey, one part of the Birthright, is already, and they accompanied to the ring by the Birthright, is already in the ring for the next match of the night, as he will be going one-on-one with the WWE LFG Season 2 winner, Shiloh Hill. He makes his way down to the ring. We're getting Charlie Dempsey versus WWE LFG Season 2 winner, Shiloh Hill. So the match starts off with both men locking up. Charlie Dempsey applies a side headlock and a hammerlock. Shiloh Hill then hits a slam. Both men then lock up again. Charlie applies a side headlock and hits a takedown. Shiloh Hill then applies an ankle lock and a side headlock. Shiloh Hill then hits the shoulder tackle. Charlie Dempsey then hits a drop toe hold, and he applies a wrist lock. Shiloh Hill then applies an arm wringer. Charlie fires back with the knee to the midsection. He applies an abdominal stretch, trying to stretch Shiloh Hill out, as Tristan Angel was talking about earlier. Shiloh then hits Hill with a back body drop. Hill fires back. He goes up top. He puts on his opera glasses. Shiloh is crazy. And delivers a clothesline. Shiloh Hill then clotheslines Charlie Dempsey over the top rope and to the floor. Back in the ring, Charlie applies a hammerlock and a double wrist lock, and he takes Shiloh Hill to the mat. Shiloh bridges back up to a neutral position. Charlie then hits a head scissors. Shiloh Hill then escapes, and he applies a side headlock and holds on when Charlie tries to send him off the ropes. Charlie then hits a knee to the midsection and a European uppercut. Shiloh Hill then blocks a suplex, and Charlie blocks a suplex as well. They then go back and forth until Shiloh Hill hits the shoulder breaker for only a count of 2. Shiloh Hill then applies an armbar. Charlie Dempsey then hits a headbutt to the midsection and a European uppercut. Charlie Dempsey then hits a elbow and a neck breaker. Charlie Dempsey then hits several elbows to the back of the head. Charlie then hits a gut wrench suplex and for only a count of 2. Charlie then applies a reverse chinlock and then hits a knee to the midsection of Shiloh. Charlie then applies an octopus. Shiloh fires back, hits a hip toss and several punches in the corner. Shiloh then hits an Irish whip, and Charlie delivers a forearm. Charlie then hits a butterfly suplex, and he applies a cross arm breaker. Charlie then applies a triangle, and he hits several elbows to the top of the head. Shiloh Hill then hits a one-arm powerbomb to escape. Shiloh then hits punches and a forearm. Shiloh then hits a slam and a tilt-a-whirl slam. Shiloh then hits an inward senton. Shiloh then runs into a boot in the corner. Shiloh then hits him with a clothesline. Charlie Dempsey fires back with a German suplex, and then Shiloh Hill hits him with a big boot. Charlie then hits a knee lift, but Shiloh Hill hits a pop-up punch. Charlie fires back with a chop to Shiloh, and Shiloh wants more. He's getting mad. Shiloh then goes for a belly-to-back suplex, and Charlie lands on his feet. Charlotte Hill then counters a butterfly suplex into a backdrop suplex for the 1, 2, 3. The winner of the singles match, the WWE LFG Season 2 winner, Charlotte Hill. After the match, we know that these guys had a lot of beef with each other last week. Tristan Angels, he made his debut on NXT last week with a big win. Charlotte Hill was out there in the crowd taunting him, saying he was the new Mr. NXT. Tristan Angels makes his way out after the match. Tristan Angels says, "Enough celebrating." He then says he is at his wit's end with the charade of Charlotte Hill calling himself Mr. NXT. Tristan Angels then says he needs to teach Charlotte a lesson. Then says he talked to Robert Stone and there will be a Mr. NXT pageant in 2 weeks. Tristan Angels then says that allows him to prepare to humiliate Charlotte Hill and for Robert Stone to get the proper pageant matters set up. Charlotte then says he cannot wait to embarrass Tristan Angels. Charlotte then cackles a lot. He is doing that funny loud. So they're going to have a Mr. NXT pageant in 2 weeks. So we go backstage again, and we see the challenger for the Women's NXT Championship, Izzy Dame, and she says she wants to know what is wrong with Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears says he shouldn't have gotten a tag match the same night as Izzy's title match. Izzy then tells Shawn that he made the right call. Nico then says they will take care of it. Izzy Dame is pissed at Shawn Spears after his actions tonight for jumping OTM from behind. So it is announced that next week, Cam Hendricks will go one-on-one with Tony D'Angelo for the men's NXT Championship. And Zarya will go one-on-one with Lizzie Rain. And Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights will face Dark State next week. So we go to the main event of the night. Izzy Dame makes her way down to the ring and she with the Cullen, Shawn Spears, and Nico. So she has both members of the Cullen down there with her, but will they be instrumental in this match? She will be going one-on-one with Lola Vice for the Women's NXT Championship in the main event, and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, Lola Vice. This was a really good match. So the match starts off with both women locking up. Izzy Dame then drives her shoulder into the midsection of Lola Vice. Lola Vice in a positive sleeper hold, but Izzy Dame fights out of it. Lola Vice hits a super kick and then applies a crossface. She hits a series of chops and then hits Izzy with another kick. Shawn Spears then tries to get involved, allowing Izzy Dame to hit a backbreaker to Lola Vice. OTM then make their way out to the ring to exact revenge on what the Cullen did earlier, also taking them out of the equation in the match. So the OTM has come back out to right the wrongs from earlier when Shawn Spears attacked them. Izzy Dame can't believe that the Cullen has been pulled out of the match. The look on her face told everything. Izzy Dame has to get back. She has to get her mindset right and get back into the match. She drives her shoulder into the midsection of the Lola Vice. Izzy Dame hits an Irish whip. Both women then exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Lola Vice then applies another sleeper hold. Izzy Dame is starting to fade out, but finally fights out of it with a backbreaker. Izzy Dame then applies a Boston Crab. Lola Vice reaches to the ropes. She reaches the ropes. Lola Vice hits a kick to the face of Izzy Dame, and both women are down. Lola Vice hits a hip attack to Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame then hits a big boot, and she follows it up with a Dame over for only a count of 2. There were several really close near falls in this match. Izzy Dame then sends Lola Vice back through the post. Lola Vice then goes for a triangle choke, but Izzy counters with a Boston Crab, and Lola Vice is screaming in pain. Lola Vice then finally fights out of it. She then runs into a big boot from Izzy Dame. Lola Vice then hits a super kick. Izzy Dame then accidentally hits Lola Vice, and she backs in and knocks the referee to the ground. So we have a referee down. Both women then run into each other with a double clothesline, and both women are down, and so is the referee. Both women exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Lola Bison hits Izzy Dame with a back fist, and the referee is still out when Lola Bison goes for the pinfall victory. The referee finally gets there after close to a minute of being down. He goes to count for the pin. Izzy Dame kicks out at 2. Izzy Dame then goes outside and grabs the Women's NXT Championship. She tosses it, causing a distraction, and then hits a boot. But she hits the big boot to Lola Vice, but Lola kicks out at 2. Lola Vice then hits Izzy Dame with another back fist for the 1, 2, 3. Lola Vice successfully defended the Women's NXT Championship tonight. The winner is still the WWE Women's NXT Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, Lola Vice. After the match, Lola Vice celebrates her win and stands tall. Dark State then appear on their way out of the Performance Center and say that after they defeat Miles Warren and Tavion Heights next Tuesday, that they're coming for the gold, which means they're going to be coming after Vanity Project Tag Team Championship and Miles Warren's North American Championship. The camera then pans over to the left, and we see Saquon Sugars watching from the top of a production truck as the show comes to a close. So Saquon Sugars looks like he is plotting out his revenge on Dark State for turning on him last week. Someone has their eye on Dark State. So again, I will go over the matches for next week. Pulling up my messages with all the matches. So next week on NXT, going to see Tony D'Angelo in the main event, defending his title against the NXT Championship against Cam Hendricks. Izzy Rain will go one-on-one with Zarya. Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights will face off against Dark State in a tag team match, which I do believe we're going to see Saquon Sugar next week. Tate Wilder will go one-on-one with Jackson Drake. Romeo Moreno will get his shot at the Speed Championship next week as he goes one-on-one with Lexis King from Birthright. With that being said, guys, that is your NXT Recap Show live here on the EVP Show, May 26, 2026. We are live on my YouTube channel, my X page, and DWE Television X page. If you guys are watching live here on the EVP Show on YouTube, please hit that like button. Or if you guys are able to go back and watch the stream, make sure you guys hit that like button and leave your comments and tell me what you guys thought of the NXT show tonight, which was really good, a lot of action. But make sure you guys hit the follow, send a follow to DWE Television page where you'll see everyone that is affiliated with DWE, including Miami the Great and Final Boss Baby, which they will be back Saturday for DWE Radio, and we'll be having a watch along party live on Twitch for the Clash in Paris PLE coming up this Sunday. You also can go to Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button to Talk It Up Podcast, and also World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony, who do the rundown every Monday to get you ready for Monday Night Raw on Netflix, along with Director Reg. After the Slam Podcast, make sure you follow him on X and on YouTube as well. And the Smoke Session Podcast, and many more that have joined DWE as well, along with everyone from Gimmick Table Media. So that's it, guys. It's short and sweet and to the point. NXT goes really fast. It's only 2 hours, so it's not really hard to cover this in less than an hour. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro, and I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up tomorrow, which you guys don't want to miss, and the rest of the week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, let go, let go. Show Recap Prediction Sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go, let go, let go.
Once again, thank you guys so much for coming to the NXT Recap Show live here on the EVP Show, Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Like I said, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, or you guys are able to go back and watch this stream live on YouTube, please hit that like button and leave your comments in the stream and tell me what you guys thought of the NXT program tonight, anything that has anything to do with the program, and I will go back in and check the comments. And we can talk about the NXT show from tonight. As far as where you can find me on my socials, scrolling across the little white and going across the blue frame at the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. So if you guys follow me on any of these social media platforms, you will be able to find my YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button and share my YouTube link to all your friends, because I do come on here pretty much every day with wrestling content for you guys. So where you can find me on my socials, if you can follow me on X at EVPCJP, and once you follow me on X, just go all the way up to the top of my page, and my YouTube page is pinned at the top. It's got about 112,000 views on it or something like that. It's been pinned up there since I started my channel. So if you guys can hit that retweet button and get the page out, we can try to get more people in here so we have people to talk wrestling with. So yeah, hit the follow button on Twitter, X, whatever you guys call it, at EVPCJP. You can find me on Instagram as well. It's a business account, but you can find me on Instagram at EVPCJP as well. It is a business account, but you can see all of my videos that Miami and the World of Greg make for my upcoming streams. And you can also see my YouTube link in the bio. It's at EVPCJP. On TikTok, you can find me at Brady the Goat 21. Again, that's at Brady BRADY Goat 21. And also, when you follow me on TikTok, I do post all my videos that Miami and Greg make for my upcoming streams on Instagram and TikTok. And you can also find my YouTube page in the bio on TikTok and Instagram. Last but not least, most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is how it helps me get new subscribers and get to that goal of 500 subs. Ultimately, that is the long-term plan here. So thank you guys for the ones that are subscribed. If you are trying to find me, my YouTube page, and you're not subscribed, you can find it on any of those social media platforms. But if you can't find it for some crazy reason, and you can go to the search bar and type in at the EVP show. You'll see over 900 plus live videos, a bunch of YouTube shorts, and a couple of pre-recorded videos. So a lot of wrestling content. I do stream 5 days a week, and the last 2 weeks have been 6 to 7 days a week with the PLEs back to back for WWE. So please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit that notification bell, and it will remind you when I go live every day. So what I have coming up next tomorrow, make sure you guys hit that notification bell and come join us in the comments, as I'll be joined with 9 others tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, live for the Clash in Italy prediction show, live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys come in the comments and join us. Put your predictions in the comments, as well as the people, my buddies that will be coming on for the Clash in Italy prediction show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come join us and make your predictions with us, as we are predicting the Clash in Italy 5-match card coming up this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, live on ESPN from Turin, Italy. Then Thursday night, I'm back at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, live for the TNA recap show. And then Friday night, it is the Go Home SmackDown, and the last 3-hour SmackDown for a while. Come join me Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. And then Saturday I'm off. You can catch DW Radio live Saturday as well at Inside the Mile with Miami on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well at 6 p.m. Eastern. Saturday I'm off, but you can come join me again Sunday. There will be no Sunday night scoops, but it is doubleheader Sunday live here on the EVP show. It's the 6th week that we've done doubleheader Sunday. You can come and join me at 6 p.m. Eastern, but not for Sunday night scoops. It will be the Clash in Italy recap show live here on the EVP show Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then come back later on Sunday night after you watch Clash in Italy, and can come back and join me for the recap shows. I will be breaking down the entire card from Clash in Italy. And late Sunday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, come and join me live for the LFG Season 3, Episode 6 recap show. And that will conclude the rest of this week and the month of May. So thank you guys so much for tuning in over the last couple of months. There's been a lot of streams. I know the product has been bad, but we're going to just keep banging it out and keep pushing this content out. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the NXT Recap Show, live Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. I am the EVP from the EVP Show and the golden boy of DWE. DWE is the only place to be. Hope you guys have a happy Hump Day Wednesday. And come back, like I said, turn that notification bell on and come and join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Clash in Italy prediction show. That being said, good night. I will see you guys tomorrow night in the comments at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Clash in Italy prediction show. Have a good night. Come join us tomorrow as we predict the Clash in Italy PLE coming up this Sunday in Turin, Italy. Good night, everyone.